What's going on, everyone? First off, before we start on any of this stuff, someone in this room got an electronic mail letter from Mr. YouTube himself inviting a partnership. That's this guy right here, Mr. Leonard. Congratulations, buddy. I didn't think this computer would help us get to a YouTube partnership. Actually, it looks way better. I can actually see stuff. I mean, that side's still messed up, but... Well, I was going to bring up a possible future PC build to actually have some better equipment for videos and whatnot, but I think we're just going to keep this for a while. So, moving on, while I'm racking my brain over this water cooling setup, this is always the most difficult part, honestly, just getting different reservoirs and parts and lining it out different ways and go, oh man, I pictured the pump here, but, you know, with the fittings on this, is that going to fit? Things like that. In the meantime, we're going to work on some parts for our other JTAG Blades system. That back panel with all the stickers on it, I've already cut it to fit the Xenon board since there is no HDMI, and that moves the AV port kind of in the middle, so you kind of have to widen that a little bit. That is just one of our kind of destroyed Red Ring of Death Xenon boards I was using it as a mock-up, but yeah, there we go. Now I'm going to do a little bit of painting on this, but I don't want to paint this backside at all. We just want to paint this front part, and normally that doesn't matter at all, obviously, but we're going to use a clear faceplate, so we want to think ahead and not see just random whatever behind the faceplate, especially the full clear one where you just, you know, it doesn't look like it's there. So we want to mask off along that edge here and just kind of cover the rest, make sure there's no paint on there. Inside doesn't really matter. And we're probably going to start with just white. Just got a matte white along that front and as well as the top vent. For the bottom vent, we're going to stick to using this anodized purple one. It's still in great shape. And yes, that's a photoshopped picture of me that my wife made. So we're going to start with a new piece for the fan side, and here's why. I was getting this one ready and was curious if the placement of this already hole here, that made sense, would fit this one idea I had, which was we would have to cut one, but take a GPU aluminum heatsink, because the other one probably wouldn't fit and wouldn't cut very well, and put it on the CPU. So basically, both of these would look like this, and they'd both be super low profile. And that would allow us to put the 200mm fan on the inside. And this is what I want to do with the sort of my own version of a ruby red, obviously without the shell, but we have a faceplate. That's why we saved that red top piece that we were going to put on the 420 one, but it didn't really match, and it's going to look better with all this red stuff anyway. And the way these holes are lined up here, now we may obviously just trim the metal part that goes kind of over the fan back here, just kind of cut that back. That's the only thing that would really be in the way, and we could mount this fan directly to this and set this whole thing on top. Now obviously it's just laying on the motherboard right now, but it would, you know, be all the way up here against the bottom. And then furthermore, besides obviously cleaning up this a little bit, I got this in some random performance PC order. Sometimes they just include random free stuff. One time I got a giant tube of thermal paste. And it's magnetic, so we'll put some either magnets in the corners or just strip around the outside, and bam. This would go over top. You'd see the fan. We probably wouldn't put an acrylic piece over top. We would just kind of leave it like this. Or we could still put acrylic. It would be tall enough to go over this, but we would have to do it so you could easily remove that top, pop your filter out, clean it, bam, good to go. But that's not what we're doing right now. So let's get this piece ready. Furthermore, with this eyeball one, we're not going to be using this one, unfortunately, because this is BenQ, and we are now using that Xenon JTAG Blades, but can still play anything. We're not going to be using it in the liquid metal. I have decided what's going in here is at least an Opus, if not an Elpis, preferably Elpis. if it's one that can be JTAG'd. I don't know if when they did the Elpis it was already updated to where it couldn't be. We'll see. But I just don't want to cut this shell at all. What we are going to do, we're still using this. We're going to have the LED and the eject button making that glow. And that Xenon board has a Hitachi drive in it. Now that's what these are for. They might fit Samsung as well, but they fit over the Hitachi drive. This one obviously came with clear blue shell. These were obviously first generation. This one maybe a little bit later because it has HDMI and AV. It's able to do either board. But this one's only AV, so obviously the older ones had Hitachi, Samsung. But yeah, that's what these ones are made to fit, and it all has to do with these side clips. You can see this one here already is different on the side. This one is on a BenQ drive. And so anyway, obviously blue came with blue, and this one came with clear. I think I do want to use the blue one matching with this and the other blue accent. Alright, check it out. It's pretty awesome. Just got to make sure to paint the other side just like that with the matte white, and we'll just splash a little of that really nice metallic blue. Actually, I like it a lot. Here we painted our disc tray with that metallic blue. I'm not going to put a clear coat over it. This is a pretty nice finish. I feel like this surface is just a good surface to lay the disc on. Sometimes clear coat, even like the matte, will just be almost a tiny bit tacky. You don't really want the disc to end up sticking on that at all. This piece here is same metallic blue, but we also put that color shift over it. And you won't see it with the light coming from my camera. The light would have to be coming from behind the part, and that's a black light up there. But it's got a little bit of what I had left in the can of the purple to blue color shift on top of that flake, and this one we are going to do the high gloss clear coat over top. Alright, it's getting dark out. I'm pretty sure like 87 mosquitoes were biting my legs while cutting this, so we got it mostly cut out. I started to do the cleanup around here. We'll have to finish that up in the morning. You can see I have it more centered. The other one kind of goes up into these holes a little bit. Well, both the other ones I have are taller. This one I wanted to have a little closer to the center, but still up a little bit, because obviously we want to see that custom DVD drive with the ghost shell and paint and all that. So we'll get that cleaned up, and then probably do an entire white base coat, especially that front part, and then we'll probably mask off, I guess, the front, and then paint this top piece, which I'm still kind of deciding what kind of direction to go. Obviously, probably the blue metallic, but maybe we'll pick up some of the, well, we'll probably definitely pick up some of the anodized purple that we have on the bottom vent, and then metallic blue up front, and maybe we'll just do kind of the raindrop effect with those two colors on this side. And then we can mask off the top side when that's done being painted and do the blue splatter up front to match the other front half of the shell. Still tinker around a little bit with the water cooling loop on that Zephyr Blades system and this ruby red deal. We do have, we're in that weird space where we're waiting on a bunch of packages, a whole wave of packages to come in, a few more systems, and just other little parts to finish up a couple things here. I don't have a board planned yet for this ruby red thing I was talking about. I have some custom paint here on this fancier silver controller. You can see that kind of green pearl, and it actually turns orange from extreme angles. Again, hard to see with the light coming from the camera. Yeah, there you go. So that is controller so far for our Blades build, water-cooled build. Interesting controller here we'll look at hopefully in the next video. Something planned out already involving this faceplate here. Obviously going to be car related. The last one I did was definitely more Fast and Furious than Need for Speed. Definitely have to do a Need for Speed one. Crazy I haven't done one ever really before. So I definitely have more hours in Need for Speed than probably everything else combined. And don't forget guys, the 420 build is still for sale. There is a problem with the mobile app with eBay. None of my listings are available for purchase on there for some reason. This one has a buy option button, and you click it and it says you can't buy it on here. It is not sold. It is still right here. You have to use the normal website. As far as I know, I just have to wait for it to update for that to get fixed. Or, of course, you can contact me through Instagram or TikTok and get at least $100 off. There's an Xbox over here, too. And over here. And you know what, guys? You've been such a great audience today. Let's take care of one more thing. Let's put this disk drive together. The Hitachi drive that came in the JTAG Blades Xenon that was originally in the Leaf shell. And as far as I know, everything was working great with it and as clean as everything else was in that build. I'm assuming it's been opened up and cleaned up, but we're about to find out. We got the tray out of here. It is super clean in here, but clearly some dust is still accumulated on the sides. Otherwise, it definitely looks like it has been gone through. Everything else looks really clean. There's some stickers on here that make me think like a new laser's been put in. The belt is super tight, nice and brand new. This one slid in. And I need to get that front bezel piece, the blue one. Got our front bezel piece on there. We just had to pry this off. There's just some adhesive around it. It's just kind of like a dust cover for that center piece. And then we can take this out and place it inside of our ghost case. This is that top piece that will hold the disc in place. This piece here has those two little pegs on the other side. You can just see the back of them, those squares. And those are going to go on either side of this little piece here. There it is, nice and solid there. Close that up. Now we could technically put the bottom piece back on. You usually can't do that on the other drives because this piece is held up by the top piece being screwed together. But this one has two screws right here that just hold the bottom piece on by itself. But I think we could still leave that off. Now obviously when this is closed, really, or when there's a disc in there and it's closed, you can't really see through it at all. But you can see the wood grain of the table there all the way around that laser without that bottom piece on there. So we could probably throw some LEDs underneath here and have it kind of glow through a little bit. Let's go ahead and throw this in some random system real quick, just make sure it opens and closes. Super smooth. Alright, let's see if it'll at least try to spin up before the error code. Oh yeah. Seems like it's good, it's not wobbling around. Cool. Looks like our disk drive is taken care of for the eyeball build. All we've really got left for that one is the hard drive and painting and cutting that other side panel. And then we should have pretty much everything we need. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video.